Hello, saints, sanctified ones. Love y'all. Continuing the journey through John. Still in chapter 1. We're at verse 24 now. We're going to do 24 through 28. Excuse me. I'm at work on my lunch break in the middle of the night. So, excuse the yawning and the sleepiness. Anyway, let's get into this word. And, before that, I pray y'all doing well, and I pray y'all are constantly seeking God through His Word, putting your faith in Him. You're either going to reject the Word and accept the world, or accept the Word and reject the world. So make sure you're always accepting the Word. Anyway, verse 24, and they which were sent were of the Pharisees. So the Pharisees were sent. Who sent them? Doesn't say who sent them, but who sent them. Christ later called them sons of the devil, so maybe he sent them spiritually. But they that were sent were of the Pharisees. Verse 25, and they asked him, John the Baptist, and said unto him, why baptize thou then, if thou be not that Christ, nor Elijah, neither that prophet? Why are you, John, baptizing? You're not Elijah, you're not, or is that Isaiah? Who's Elias? Is that Isaiah, or I think that's actually Isaiah. Whichever one it is, who are you? And John answered them, saying, I baptize with water. He still didn't say who he was. Let me go back to 25. And they asked him and said unto him, why baptize thou then? Okay, they asked him, why are you baptizing if you're not these people? So he said, I baptize with water. But there standeth one among you whom ye know not. Of course they didn't know him. How could they? They were sons of the devil. And we talked about this earlier. Only the Holy Spirit can allow you to see him, to see the kingdom of heaven. Anyway, and the Holy Spirit was definitely not functioning in their lives. We see how they acted throughout the life of Christ. In verse 27, he it is, this is the one who they don't know. This is Christ, obviously. He it is who coming after me is preferred before me, whose shoe latchet I am not worthy to unloose. Humble statement, as it should be. We are not worthy to unloose Christ's shoe or put Christ's shoe on, or not worthy to do anything pertaining to Christ or anything pertaining to God. We're not. Religion will, and religious people like the Pharisees were, religion will cause religious people to get kind of puffed up and prideful, to make them think that they are worthy because they do this and they do that and they do that and they do this. But you're not. One of the apostles wrote, or somebody said, if any man think, maybe that was Christ, if any man think himself to be something when he is actually nothing, he deceives himself. And religion will deceive the religious people into thinking that they are something based on their works. Now here, this is John the Baptist, born with the Holy Spirit, preparing the way for Christ, but yet he has the mind and the heart to know that he is nothing and he is not worthy. But you have these people who are sons of the devil who are really believing because of their traditions that they practice, which didn't even come from God and actually were sinful, some of them, and because of their perverted following of the law, that they were worthy, that they were righteous, that they were good. We see this in the parable where Christ has the Pharisee and the publican, and the Pharisee is, saying, thank God I'm not like this publican. I do this, and I do that, and I do this, and I do that. No humility, felt like he was worthy because of what he did, and was puffed up and prideful because of his religious practices. But the publican who said or displayed the same thing John is displaying, that he's not worthy, he didn't even find himself worthy to look up to the heavens. So he just put his head down and spoke. That is the one that was justified. John the Baptist was justified. Humility versus pride will show you a lot about yourself and your spiritual state and who it is that you are actually serving. And for my believers, my brethren who are in churches with people who are entrenched in Christianity, sometimes just, well, I don't want to say churches, but who gather at places with people who are entrenched in Christianity, just take a look sometimes around and see if there are people who maybe not in their words, but in their actions and their behaviors and mannerisms and characteristics, or maybe even in their words, seem to count themselves worthy based on their actions. Speaking about their actions, always speaking about what they do and what they don't do. And usually these same people will also speak against what others do or don't do. The person who's there at every gathering speaks against the person who's not there at every gathering. So on and so forth. Keep a lookout for that. And sometimes, even while a person is displaying intense pride, they will speak of humility. But while speaking of humility, they will be talking about themselves and what they do yet again. What they do and what they don't do, and how often they do it, or how often they don't do it. And it's them and them and them, and this is about them, and this is happening because of them or to them, or it's just always centered around them. Just keep an eye out for it. Maybe they're not sons of the devil. Maybe they're just a bit deceived at the moment. Maybe they're just a bit caught up in what's happening in their lives. I'm not going to cast any aspersions, but keep a lookout on that. But you yourself, make sure that you remain humble and knowing that you are not even worthy to touch his shoe. Not even worthy to unloose his sandal. If any man thinks himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceives himself. Make sure you remember, that's not where I was going with this whole thing, but I guess I wasn't going anywhere, and this is where it ended up. But make sure you remember that you are nothing. You're everything in the sight of God because he loves you. He even loved you when you didn't know him. He died for you when you were against him. So you're not nothing to him, but just you're nothing in comparison to him. In verse 28, these things were done in Bethabara, beyond Jordan, where John was baptizing. I love y'all. God bless. Peace out.